Gunners, football fans, supporters of the Positively-Uncensored Arsenal podcast. This is your host, Shotta, together with my partner and friend, Blackburn George. How are you doing, George?
I'm all right, thanks.
Good to see you, George. You're looking your usual self, ensconced in your windbreaker, blah, blah, right up to the neck. Still cold in England, is it?
Yeah, well, I'm it's my effort to cut down on heating bills. It's a fleece lined, and I bought 5 of them. All the same.
Jesus Christ, George! I understand your heating bills are going up.
Oh, yeah,
40 or 50% of the beginning of the month.
Mine aren't going up though because I'm using less than I used to. I'm spending less than I used to because I put warm clothes on now instead of walking around in a t-shirt and shorts in the house.
Okay, go well.
Oh, there he is.
Ehab, welcome to the man from Ukraine.
How's it going, guys?
In a brand new location, looking like $1 million.
Nah, I just shaved my beard. Hold on a second, Sasha. Hey, this is my son. He's just trying to get him out of the frame. Yeah, he's gone now.
Right. And good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, we were concerned about you.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate you guys. Just checking on me.
Yes.
Good thing we made it out. It's been rough, but
yes,
we're figuring it out. We're trying to do whatever we want to do.
For the benefit of the listeners, you were in Kyiv.
Yeah, I was in Kyiv, yeah.
And then you had to make your way out via Poland, or was it via Poland?
I had to make my way out to the west of the country, to the mountains. It's called Carpathian Mountains, and after that we stayed there for 1 day or 2 days hiding in the mountains, and then we crossed the Hungarian border to Budapest.
Oh, are you in Budapest now?
No. I now I'm in Jordan, Amman, Jordan, because somehow.
Oh God, Ehab, we can't keep up with you.
No, but this is it's actually much easier for Ukrainian people to process all the papers in this place because they are allowing everybody from Ukraine to process the papers and get visas elsewhere and so on. So I'm going to Riyadh next week. So
I think people should be aware that for a lot of the time we did a podcast recently, you were in Riyadh doing a project. Yeah. We don't want to go into the details, but you were very busy there.
Yeah, it was actually something. It's been a rough year. We'll talk about it later. Just let's focus on that.
Of course. But I just want people to know that you have not been scouting.
No, I haven't been doing it. For a year, I've been fighting for. I've been trying to sell a company with a partner that went bad. And then I wanted to move to Kyiv with my family because that's where my wife works. But then the war happened, and now we're trying to reset everything.
Right. Well, Ehab, we are all very heartbroken of what's happening in your wife's country, but we are happy you're out, and really glad that you can continue to contribute to this podcast.
Well, if there's one thing I want to say to whoever watching this, and it's been baffling. You guys are old enough. Maybe you've seen war or you've been close to war, and it's not an easy thing. I see. I'm pretty much done with Twitter because I see people sitting in coffee shops and artsy cafes and bedrooms, and they are trying to blame the people who are being bombed, and they are, having the narrative that they are neo-Nazis. That's why Russia is bombing. And, the moment the 500-kilogram bomb falls a couple of streets away from you, all of that evaporates. Mm-hmm. I wish that no one has to be put in that position. Nobody has to run with his family, hearing, with a kid and a wife, just listening to planes fly over our heads and wondering if they're gonna drop bombs on us or not. And once you have to realize the end goal is to preserve human life and not to let thousands and millions die just because of a dream of a rich, powerful man. There's no sides here. There's only one side, which is the human race. And let's not get lost in our opinions and try to do that. Let's just root for this war to be over.
Yes, well, thank you, Ehab. And this is not a political show, and I'm not going to turn.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to say that because there's
I want you to say, state your point of view. Of course, this is very important to you. George, you want to add anything?
Yeah, it's just so typical, though, isn't it? Everybody's a hero sitting on the sofa.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm so, you haven't seen me do a lot of posting. I'm so.
Yeah, I know you're away from politics, but I just want people to know that the end goal is to not kill, to not get out of this with 100,000 people dead that don't need to be dead. This is not what anybody wants, no matter how opinionated you are.
Yes, indeed, Joe, and that's why we are doing this. Well, football is supposed to be a universal sport, universal values, and this group of us, George, I'm gonna allow you, but this group of us are kind of, are very multinational, as you can see. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I have to be honest. I'm struggling to show any interest in football. But
well, me too. I mean,
at the moment, it's like, and the hypocrisy within our fan base and within the fan base of other, it's just sickening, absolutely sickening. But what can you do?
Well, we're gonna touch on that. So, guys, to football, which is fairly minor in the great scheme of things, but life goes on. And I just to apologize to the fans, I was out of circulation for really good reasons, and so I missed 2 weeks of this. But the last time we did this, I said, buckle up, Gooners. We are in for what can I write again? Whatever it is. My mind is a string, right? But we are, and it's proven to be we have been down the roller coaster now. The easy part of it is, it's a buckle up for the roller coaster and top 4. And we have had an easy run in, relatively. Wolves, two games we won since we last spoke, and most recently, Watford. So, are we now really top 4 contenders? There are other factors at work here, and I would want to start with you, George. Have you given thought to it? Are we now the real top 4 contender and not a pretender, especially in light of what is happening around us?
Absolutely, we're top 4 contenders, and I have to fucking hold my hand up. I mean, I've been absolutely adamant since the beginning of the season that there was no chance of us being top 4. None.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is there a chance now, but we're heavy odds-on favourite to make the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I can see. So yeah, we're absolutely in it, and it's all right. You can make up all the excuses in the world about how Tottenham and Manchester United and Leicester have been awful, and they have. But we've come from the back of the field, and the recent form, points accumulating at least, you can't deny it. The turnaround has been epic, and of course, only one game a week and having all our players fit helps. But we've still done it, So I think we have a real chance. Of course, should we get any injuries, we're in trouble because the squad's been thinned down so much. But what will be, will be. Let's see how it goes. At this moment in time, there's good cause to be optimistic. And I have to say that if we get top 4, everybody has to shut the fuck up about Mikel Arteta going. If you accept that he's made mistakes in the past, well, we all have. Some of them will linger with us forever in our minds, like the way we lost Ozil. But you move on. And if the club and the team is developing in the right direction, which it appears to be, we just have to shut the fuck up and move on and accept the fact that he's doing a decent job, and he could very well be doing a very good job when he grasps the management side of it to the extent that he appears to be able to grasp the tactical side of it. So
Ehab, you're shutting the fuck up, or you said on this podcast over and over again that when he gets 100, 150 games, 200 games, he'll be a better manager. We, both George and I were skeptical of your forecast. So you should be crowing. Are you?
No, it's not. Actually, I thought, as it stands, we are favorites for top four. But I thought we're gonna finish around 6, to be honest. But I'm not sure. There's something deep inside me that's afraid we're gonna fuck this up. But we are favorites for top 4. The chips has fallen this way. I mean, when the season started, nobody expected Manchester United to be this poor. Nobody expected Leicester to be this poor. Nobody expected Tottenham to be this poor. We had teams developing like Everton, spending money left and right, and they had a new manager. And we all thought they're going to be better, but they are fighting relegation right now. Nobody expected this at the start of the season. So 6th, 7th would have been logical for us at the start of the season. 4 is an overachievement, but things have fallen this way. I must add that there has been mistakes, and there has been some right moves that led us to this point. And I am not going to stop praising the right moves. I am not going to stop criticizing the mistakes, because even the success makes you feel a little bit more like, it opens so many what ifs. What if we invested the party Pepe white money a little bit better? What if we didn't waste so much money on Willian and the Ozil and all of these sagas? What if we kept Saliba and Gunduzi? What if? And on the other hand, I'm really happy we signed the kinds of Tierney, Ramsdale, Gabriel, kept extended Xhaka, gave contracts to Smith Rowe because he was going to leave. He was looking to leave in the summer, and there was an offer for 35 million for him. And those are really, really good moves, and I'm always going to praise them. And I'm going to criticize the wrong ones because somehow things did not get here.
Wow, we lost him. George, well, we lost Ehab somewhere in Jordan. He's back, people. Sorry,
Yeah.
Ehab.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just closed my browser by mistake. I'm saying things did not get here as a part of a master plan. We bounced left and right, and at the end of the day, we found ourselves back on track. So this is good. I will take it. Now we have to focus. It's in our hands. We have to keep winning and get top 4. And we built on that. By the end of the season, Arteta is going to be around 135 games.
Correct.
Under his belt. We go to the new season. We got roughly 50 games in the new season. By the end of next season, this team should be, with the money that we spent, we should be in the Liverpool, Manchester City conversation with all what's happening in Chelsea. This could be a contender for the next 5-6 years with the youth that's in it. Once Arteta picks it up, I've never wanted Arteta out. I understood that if you stick with him, in business, it doesn't make sense to spend 250 million, then scrap it and restart the whole thing. You're never going to get anywhere. We are seeing this as a live example with Manchester United, who have spent way over $1 billion now. They have had, what is this, their 5th manager? They're going to be on the 6th. in the last 10 years since Alex Ferguson left, and they are nowhere close to winning the league. What we're doing is right and good. We have just to be patient. It's been a rough ride.
George, you have been singing the praises of Arteta. You're saying we gotta shut the fuck up. So does this make him our friend now? This is a friendly guy that we can embrace. Since you've always said, yeah, I don't like the guy, but I don't want him out. You've always said this. We're not the Arteta out. Is he a friendly? The question now is: everybody's a warm and cuddling, embracing Arteta. Are you?
I'm not. No, absolutely not. I don't like him. I don't like what he's done, and
But does it make a difference?
All he's done is his job, and that doesn't repair the way he's treat people, in my opinion. But then again, I wasn't privy to all the facts. So maybe there is some sort of mitigation for him. But no, I don't. I want to. I would love to be able to like him because I wanted him in the first place. I loved him as a player. But no. I can like him as a manager, but I'm not going to warm to him as a person. I think he's full of shit. But,
I thought we should get that out because we can want our company to succeed, but we could we could hate our bosses.
But Shotta, it's the thing is, for me, like someone like me, I never liked George Graham as a person. I have never liked him, not as a player, not as a manager. Although I met him once and he was the nicest guy ever and talked to everybody, and he had the class to him. But the thing is, I've always felt that he had a little bit of Jose Mourinho to him before Jose Mourinho. I never. This was something, but I have never criticized him. I've never said a bad word about him. If right now, if you're sitting in my house and you go, well, George Graham was shit, I would ask you to get out. He's an Arsenal manager, the big part of Arsenal manager. I don't have to like him. I don't have to love him. Don't have to like him. He does his job, and he holds his end when it comes to the tradition and class of the club. So I'm not going to do that. Even when he went to Tottenham, I couldn't find it in myself to boo him or to hate him. I couldn't, although I was really bothered by it when he came back to Highbury and he was with Tottenham. But I don't have to like him. I don't have to love him. I don't have to think that he's the coolest guy alive. But he's the Arsenal manager, and I'm going to respect that. I would never say anything bad about him to his face or to his players, or boo him or see. I never do that. Those are players. I have my opinion. That doesn't mean that they have to listen to my opinion. This is a big part of the world right now. Who the fuck told everyone their opinion needs to be heard? So yeah. So I have my opinion about him. I talk to my followers, which is like 500 people. That's it. And I will never, if I met Mikel Arteta now, I would praise him like he was the most important guy in the world. Even if I met him in the middle of our worst losing streak, I would thank him, tell him he's doing a great job, and then tell him I'm 100% behind him.
Ehab, I think there's a bit of revisionism there, though. I'm not necessarily you. You're right, George. I know I have criticized him online and in this podcast, but I think one of the things, and I'm going to compliment George for this. George has restrained all of us and said, no, we don't necessarily have to be, Arteta out. But we have to avoid the revisionism because there are people listening here and they're going to say, is that you, Shotta? Is that you, George? Right? Isn't that correct? Am I not right, making a good point here, George? Am I? You're my sounding board, of course.
Yeah, I don't take back anything I've said. I stand by everything I've said.
Yes.
Well, every criticism and everything that I said I think he did wrong. I still think he did wrong.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that he loses his job or I'll make his job more difficult by posting hate towards him on Twitter. Right. Like as if I'm
Shut up.
a fucking expert. I'm not. I'm just a fucking viewer. And
Because
I won't pretend, but I'm not going to pretend to like him.
Hold your thought, Ehab. Go ahead. Hold your thought, Ehab. Yes, go ahead, George.
yeah, the minibus crew, the guys on minibus crew.
I like them.
They were always fighting with the AFTV, the Luton crew, and we, and they always defending Wenger through Wenger's reign. And I met those guys at a game at United, and I was talking to them, and half of them thought that Wenger has to go.
Yes.
Yeah, like 4 of them thought that, okay, it's time for Wenger to go. But they have never respected the manager. Mm-hmm. If you disrespected the manager, they are going to fight with you. They are going to stand to you. Mm-hmm. But this is what real fans are about. You have your own opinion, but you don't go fucking around the club booing young talent and sending messages to the manager asking him to get out of town or whatever it is. Yeah. I see people going on Twitter and it's at Mikel Arteta, get the fuck out of the club. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It is, you cannot do this. Like the people who booed Wenger at Stoke at the train station, those should fuck off the club. Get the fuck out of the club. Those people.
Or booed him at Southampton.
They booed him one guy at Southampton jumped in front of him and started criticizing him. And this is the problem with everybody. Okay, you don't agree with him, but he is the manager of your club. I didn't agree with Emre. I never liked him. But if you go back to my Twitter, and read to the day he left, and read my tweet on the day he left, you'd think I am saying goodbye to the greatest manager ever. It's the first time I at him. I send it right to his Twitter page.
Well, you are a greater man than me.
No, man. You don't abuse your players or manager. This is the number one rule of supporting a club.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get all of us back up because George made a little departure there. But let me see how.
You cannot punish viewers by keeping me on the main screen, man. You have to take me off the. get George in here. He's the good looking one.
George, I have a concern. However, I kind of saw the games against Wolves. The first one was close. The second one is also back at our place was close. But the game I studied a lot was Watford. We did a lot of good stuff. 3 good goals actually, but Watford had their chances. Watford, and that's why I say I'm tempted to say. Are we a shoo-in for top 4 the way we play?
No, we're not a shoo-in. We're favourite, and we've been playing better recently. There is more understanding. Odegaard, your man,
yes,
he is playing very, very well. Mm-hmm. So is Saka. Martinelli's doing okay. Lacazette's adding one. Partey and Xhaka are good in midfield. The team's functioning. All 3 different sections of the team have started to function together. They were all independently decent, but now they've started to function as a team better. Mm-hmm. But, let's be honest. Watford can't buy a win, and we scraped by 3-2.
Isn't that concerning? Is it concerning to you?
Concerning, but, it's points make prizes, and I think we're playing well enough that we can reasonably expect to beat most teams. Now that's got to be a cause for celebration, because 6 months ago we weren't playing well enough to beat anybody.
Correct.
So it's a concern, but all teams, what teams dominate 90 minutes every game? Manchester City, that's it. Even Liverpool, you look at Liverpool, they beat West Ham the other night, and they were very lucky. West Ham should have won that game, or at least got a point. Mm-hmm. You know, there's only Manchester City goes to places and takes the pants down for 90 minutes. And we're not there by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, we're going to have bits where they create chances. But we're playing well enough to score more goals than them and scrape wins. We're defending well enough to keep teams out when we take a lead normally. So, yeah, you know, we're not the finished article, but fucking hell, we're a lot closer to it than we were, or I envisaged. I've got to hold my hands up and say, or this is much better than I saw happening. And you can't all of a sudden revise your opinion or say, oh, well, you know, we've spent £250 million. This is where we should be. Maybe it is where we should be, but it wasn't where I thought we were going to be. And I was adamant and I was open about it, and I was wrong. Whatever the circumstances, however lucky we've been in games, however unlucky other teams have been against us, however bad other teams have been in the league, which has allowed us to get to this position, is irrelevant. I stated we wouldn't fucking contend for top four, and now we're favourites. I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong, but I don't really care what the circumstances are. I'm not going to make excuses up for me being wrong.
All of us, and by the way, George, all of us here did not anticipate a top four.
Yeah, true. I believe it's going to be 6 or 7. Being top 4.
I thought it was 9th, 10th, or 11th.
Well, you know, I'm a top 6. I've been a top 6 man. I said I wouldn't change. I had my doubts. I vacillated, but I remained top 6.
So I won the competition of being the wrongest.
Well, I don't.
Yeah,
yeah, we could do that. You know, a pissing contest. But Ehab, from a football point of view, you're our analyst. Although we have thrown away the chalkboard. But do you share George's opinion that, you know, just beating Watford 3-2 does not, you know, cause any concern?
Yeah, I keep beating this point, but it's 120 games. He's still about another 40, 50 games from seeing the true ability of this team from him. Mm-hmm. Like, if you think of Mikel Arteta when he started, he's like he was like the Great Wall of China in the face of the success of this club. Anyway, he was, you know, the club, the players were all there. He had good players, but he had to figure out how to play. And you know, little by little, this wall just started coming down. Up until now, it's like a couple of feet high. So what I want him, if he keeps progressing, it's going to keep getting better. From a football point of view, we have a problem in our defensive midfield. We cannot transition back from offense to defense in a well-balanced way. Either we're too late if they put if they commit numbers forward, they are going to beat us, and this is evident in Watford's second goal. If they try to attack on the break with big numbers, we are not stopping the ball. I think and then he used to do a good job with this, but I haven't seen him play in a long time. Also, you have this is one of the problems that we have. Another problem is advancing the ball has improved a lot.
Yes, sir.
And we are playing the ball better from the wings to the middle, which is I'm really happy with. And sometimes we are starting from deep, and we have our wingers cut in, which we've seen in goals against Wolves and Watford, where the wings cut inside and we play a long ball to them.
Saka in particular, those first 2 goals, yes.
Saka and Pepe, to my astonishment, they have been. This has improved a lot. Still, we need to get closer to force the defense to get a little bit tighter. Nope. Imagine to force the defense to get a little bit tighter, and this will improve with time. Scoring will improve with time. Our cutbacks need to improve a little bit, although Odegaard, Saka are doing this on individually right now. The side where Martinelli is needs to improve a little bit while when cutting inside. These things over the next 40, 50 games are going to be perfected. And the players are ready. The players have been ready for this since day one. What's going on is that he's learning. And I don't know why people think I offend them when I say he's been catching up. Because on the other hand, you look at somebody like Eddie Howe, who's a great manager and he's been learning all this time. He comes in, takes 10 games, and now he's got the team. It's not running as good as he wants it to, but they all bought into his system. He's got the team balanced already after 10. He's been here 15 games, 20 games.
Yes.
It's because he's been a manager for 10 years. He knows. He's seen it. He's seen it all. He's seen what's gonna happen. For Arteta to sit next to Pep and see something happen, and see Arteta deal with it is something, and to try it yourself is something else. You can ride in a taxi for 20 years. Doesn't mean you can drive. You watch the taxi drivers do all the driving. They're great drivers, but you cannot when you get behind that wheel. Although you've seen everything, you still have to handle it yourself. And this is what's going on with him. This is what's going on with him. He's been here for 120 games. Another 40 and 50 games. This team is going to look like one of the best we've had. And just give it another, once we jump over that 200, 210, when he becomes an addition to the team on paper is when what we have to look forward to, as long as they don't fuck up and sell everybody.
George, I'm going to, you have to leave in a few. I'm going to wrap up. But,
Okay.
George, the thing is that I think you have made some good points about what is better and what needs to improve. But my concern, do our fans recognize what is working for us? Because, and I ask this question, because at the end of the game, post-game, I saw them bigging up Partey as the man of the match. And the Partey actually got man of the match when it was clear to me that Saka was the man, especially with the things he did. I mean, even was it the second goal, George? He's the one who recovered the ball from cleverly. Put it to Lacazette back heel in his face, and he scored. Brilliant shot. Goal number 1. What he did to the right back when he faked to go inside and went right. I think I have that sequence right. But my whole point is that Saka was a threat all evening, and yet our fans seem to think it's a popularity contest. Let's give Partey, settle our old scores with Xhaka, and let's big up Partey at the expense of the team. Do you think our fans have gotten it? That's the whole point. The question.
Yeah, well, not only did he get man of the match, he got player of the month.
Well, yeah. Come on, guys. Tell me, am I missing something? Are we just in the anti-Partey?
I tweeted, in all seriousness, that Partey, for the first time in almost 2 years, had a better game than Granit Xhaka.
Okay.
And he did. I thought Xhaka was under the weather or something. He had a poor game.
Okay. That crossfield pass had led to Dennis getting a shot off was terrible. Go ahead, George.
No, for him, shall we say, he was below his best. But seriously, player of the month, fucking hellfire. But what can you say? I see people posting on Twitter that Partey gets in any team in the league. Where's the delusion amongst our fans is? Apart, if you were to read Twitter, go by Twitter, you would think we have the best goalkeeper in the league. We have the best right back and left back in the league. We have the best centre back combination in the league. We have the best centre mid holding player in Party. We have the best number 10 in Odegaard, and we have the best two wide forwards in Martinelli and Saka. You know, I think there's only two players in the team that people don't put forward as being the best in the league. It's fucking staggering. Staggering how ridiculous people's opinions are about our players. And player of the month, Thomas.
Man of the match. Man of the match, George.
Well, maybe he did have a good game. I thought he did have a good game. I wouldn't have given him man of the match, but I'm not saying he was that far off it either. But player of the month, fucking hell. Anyway, that's just me. But to be honest, everything's pissing me off at the moment. So don't let that.
I don't know if you want to say something on Ehab, but I thought, popularity contests.
I gave up actually. This forcing Party down our throats has to go on. I'll live with it. We're doing well, so I will live with it. Yeah. He's presenting a big problem right now. Xhaka is playing the 8th position, which is not his position. He's going forward and he's trying to create passes. And because Partey was bought to do that, and he's not doing it. So we are keeping him, hiding him in the middle of midfield. And this is what Fabinho did to Klopp the first year. And it cost him a full year, and on the balance of the team. And until now, like maybe a year and a half ago, when Fabinho started, getting the balance of the team, and 2 years ago, and people don't like that because they look to PlayStation, and Fabinho has been the high-rated card since 3 years ago.
Yes, but this is Monaco, right? We just
So this is what's going on with Partey. We had to drop him back because his use is going forward, and he's a little bit creating from deep because we are not playing against teams that press us on midfield, and that's why this is it. But they just want to force him down our throats. They like the way he looks when he runs. Rolls Royce of a midfielder, the octopus. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, like Patrick Vieira has to be turning in Crystal Palace just reading this crap. I'm like,
but be fair, he's a lot better than he was.
Yeah, but a lot better means he's not better than Joe Willock, for example, or who's really been doing well at Newcastle. He's been bringing. I was watching Joe Willock yesterday, and I thought he's like the third puzzle of the ESR Saka, picture. Yeah. It's the same energy, same skill set, same strength, same football understanding, and I think it's a shame we had to break them up. But when you think about it, 50 million there with 70 million on Pepe and 58 on Ben White could have taken, and 30 million on Willian. That kind of money could have taken us much higher than this. But forget about it. Let's not talk about this. We are looking for top 4. We want to be top 4. Let them praise Partey as much as possible. Let them make him the next Vieira. I don't give a damn as long as we are winning and we finish 4th, and we build on that next year with Mikel Arteta just learning.
Okay, well, I can't argue with that. I just thought that we need to share that with the audience. This is how
did he get Player of the Month over Odegaard? How do you explain that? I don't get it.
Who was Odegaard? By the way, George, you and I, you all know that I had my great reservations about him. But the guy has grown by leaps and bounds, and he was. We were impressed, and you make that point. We were impressed by Watford held back until the last 30 minutes when they were really behind. But he was running the midfield. Anyway, let's move on, guys. So Leicester is coming up on Sunday. By the way, we have 4 games, George. I'm gonna simply say this. I'm gonna ask a question. We have Leicester, Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Crystal Palace. This is not a preview of Leicester. But how much points do we need to get, or how much points do you expect? And this is the final question to you guys out of the next 4 games, because that is critical in the top 4 race?
I'm not even going to guess. Because we could seriously get anything between none and 12.
But what do we need?
Because I don't know. I honestly don't know, because we haven't seen us up against the only team that we haven't beaten, as far as I can remember, a top 3 team, one of the other top 4 teams this season. Mm-hmm. So you could probably say we won't beat Liverpool, especially the form that they're in at the moment. Leicester seem to be coming into some better form.
They beat Leeds the other day.
That could go either way. Villa away, that could go either way. And who's the fourth?
Crystal Palace, George, with our good friend Patrick Vieira.
We should beat Crystal Palace.
But that's at Palace.
We should still beat Crystal Palace.
We're giving 4 points, George. I mean, these 3 certain win.
I think if we come out of those 4 games with 6 points, we've done okay.
And you, Ehab?
Actually, George is right. It could go either way, but we have to aim high. We have to aim at least at 9 to stay in the top 4. We have to keep it in our hands. You have people chasing you in West Ham and Manchester City, Manchester United, and Spurs.
Don't rule out Spurs. I mean, they trashed who they trashed 5-0. That should have boosted their confidence.
So we have to aim.
Brighton,
Everton.
Everton.
By the way, before you say anything, George and Ehab and audience, Brighton has fallen like a stone. You remember they were in the top 4, and that tells you football can change very fast. But go ahead, Ehab.
Yeah. Now we have to aim at 9, guys. Liverpool, but it's not an easy win, so I'm going to scrape it. But the other 3, we have to win them, especially Leicester at home. Vardy, I think, is not playing. They announced he's going to miss it, so he's the killer. So we have to go for it against them. Crystal Palace is not easy at all. Patrick Vieira has been doing a great job, and the thing is, has that kind of mentality where he is the ultimate competitor. When your team, the team that you used to play for, is coached by Mikel Arteta, he takes that personal. If you've watched the Michael Jordan documentary, and he says that everything he takes it personally, and this is what motivates him. And this jerk is inside every great athlete. And this is what Patrick Vieira is thinking, is that, I could have been the manager of Arsenal. I have to prove a point every time I play Arsenal. And so this is not an easy win, but we have to win it because we have the better team. We have to somehow do it, and we have to beat Aston Villa. I don't care how good they've been playing under Gerrard. This is all cute, and but we have to get 9 points to stay in the hunt. If we get behind United or Spurs, those teams, I mean, how do you know they're gonna let go? It's 10 games to go or 12 games to go.
Well, I think, guys, we're gonna end it at that. We are contenders, but it's the race is not over, and that is what I was trying to convey in the theme for this broadcast. Very interesting. We look forward to Leicester on Sunday, and George and I certainly, if you're available, we'll do a post game. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for putting up with my absence, but it was forced. We will be far more regular going forward, I hope.
Okay.
All things being equal. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.